America wants Greenland more than ever right now. And if that sounds random, it's not. It's one of the most quietly obvious power moves on Earth. Before we break it down, subscribe and hit the bell, because this channel explains big geopolitics in small, simple pieces. Okay? Greenland for Dummies. Think of Greenland like a giant icy aircraft carrier that doesn't move. It sits between North America and Europe, right where the Arctic opens up. And the Arctic is changing fast. Ice is melting, which sounds like nature news, but to countries it means new routes, new resources, new problems. Here's the first simple reason the US cares. Location beats everything. If you can watch the Arctic, you can see threats earlier. Missiles, bombers, submarines, stuff that matters before it reaches your backyard. It's like putting a security camera at the end of your driveway instead of inside your living room. That's why the US already has a major military presence in Greenland. Not because it's trendy, because it's a radar advantage. It helps track what's flying over the top of the world, and it helps protect North America. Second reason, also simple, shipping. As the Arctic becomes more navigable, new sea lanes can cut travel time between continents. Less time means less fuel. Less fuel means less cost. Less cost means more trade power, and trade power means leverage. If you control the fast lane, you can influence who gets priority, who pays, and who gets delayed. That matters more than people think. Third reason, resources. Greenland is believed to have valuable minerals, rare earths, metals, energy potential. Whether all of it is easy to extract is a different story. But in geopolitics, potential is enough to start a race. Because countries plan 10 and 20 years ahead. Now put those three together. Military, plus shipping, plus minerals. That's why Greenland isn't just ice. It's a future control panel. A place that looks quiet until you realize the future is moving toward it. And here's a quick mental picture. If the world is a board game, Greenland is one of the corner squares. You don't get a lot of points standing there every day. But when the game shifts, it becomes the best place to see the whole board. That's why governments care about position, even when the place looks empty. Empty land can still be crowded with importance. One more dumb but useful comparison. Owning the best spot in the Arctic is like owning the best seat in a theater. You're not changing the movie, but you're seeing it first, and you're reacting faster than everyone else. That's why Greenland keeps coming up. Not because it's glamorous, because it's early. And once you understand that, Greenland stops being random. It becomes logical. But here's where it gets real. America doesn't want Greenland because it loves snow. America wants Greenland because it hates being late. For decades, the Arctic was like a locked room. Hard to enter, hard to use, hard to fight over. So it stayed quiet, and most people ignored it. Now the door is opening, and when a door opens, the big players step closer. Russia has been expanding Arctic activity for years. Bases, patrols, infrastructure. China calls itself a near Arctic state and invests in polar science and long-distance trade planning. And the US looks at that and thinks one thing. We need visibility and control. Because if someone else sets the rules first, you spend the next decade arguing from behind. Greenland belongs to Denmark, but it's also self-governing in many ways. So it's not just a buy-it situation. It's diplomacy, security agreements, investment, and trust. It's showing up, not just talking. And if you're a Greenlander, the question isn't who owns us, it's who helps us build a future that doesn't collapse. Jobs, infrastructure, education, healthcare, real-life needs. And also, protecting culture, protecting land, protecting local decisions. So the US strategy is usually not take. It's partner, build relationships, increase presence, secure access, because influence is the modern version of ownership. If you're the partner everyone relies on, you don't need a flag on the map. You have leverage anyway. And there's another reason nobody explains plainly. Nuclear deterrence. Not the scary, movie kind, the quiet math kind. The Arctic is part of the shortest path between major powers, so early warning systems in the far north are a big deal. They buy minutes, and minutes can be the difference between survival and disaster. So when America watches Greenland, it's watching the clock, and it's making sure nobody else controls the stopwatch. Also, the Arctic isn't just about competition. It's about emergencies, search and rescue, oil spills, broken ships, lost aircraft. When something goes wrong up there, response time matters. So countries build presence not only to compete, but to be the first one capable of handling a crisis. And the country that handles the crisis usually gets to write the rules after. So the US pushes closer through money and presence, more consulates, more funding, more joint exercises, more scientific partnerships. Not because science is cute, but because science tells you what's coming next. Ice thickness, storm patterns, new shipping windows, new choke points. Information is strategy. So when you see headlines, remember, this isn't sudden obsession. It's long-term positioning becoming visible. Now let's make it even simpler. Greenland is about 3 fears, and they're all reasonable. Fear number 1, being blind. If rivals move in the Arctic and you can't see it, you lose safety. You can't react to what you can't track. Satellites help, sure, but weather, angles, and timing still matter. Being physically closer is still an advantage. Fear number 2, being bypassed. If shipping routes shift north and you don't shape the rules, you lose money and influence. Think about maps like habits. Once a new route becomes normal, companies build around it, ports expand, insurance changes, warehouses relocate, and suddenly the old route feels slow and expensive. Fear number 3, being dependent. Rare earth minerals and critical materials power everything: phones, batteries, missiles, satellites. If your supply chain depends on someone you don't trust, your economy becomes a hostage. Not because anyone attacks you, but because they can simply say no at the worst possible moment. So America wants options, not headlines. Options. That's why you'll see talk about investing in Greenland's airports, ports, communications, and science. Because in the Arctic, infrastructure is power. A runway is not just a runway. A port is not just a port. It's access, logistics, rescue, surveillance, and mobility. But here's the twist. Greenland is not empty. It's home. It's culture. It's people who get to say yes or no in the long run. So the smartest play is not aggression. It's respect, consultation, benefits that locals can actually feel. Because the fastest way to lose the Arctic is to treat it like a chessboard with no humans on it. And Greenland also sits inside a bigger story. Climate. Melting ice isn't just creating opportunity. It's creating risk, coastal damage, extreme weather, unpredictable ecosystems. So the same place that offers power also demands responsibility. That's why Greenland is the perfect test. Can a superpower chase advantage without breaking trust? And yes, some of this is boring on purpose. Runways, fiber cables, weather stations, icebreakers, warehouses. None of it looks cinematic. But boring is what keeps power stable. Boring is what keeps trade moving. Boring is what keeps people alive when the environment gets hostile. And if you're wondering why rare earths matter so much, here's the dumb version. If you can't get the ingredients, you can't build the product. And if you can't build the product, you can't protect the country. So minerals become national security, even if they look like rocks. That's why Greenland is attractive. It represents a possible backup plan. In short, Greenland is a place where supply chains, security, and survival overlap. So why does America want Greenland so much? Because Greenland is where the next century gets organized. Its early warning, its routes, its resources, its alliances, its logistics. It's a place where small changes in geography create huge changes in strategy. And it's a reminder that the map is alive. When the environment changes, strategy changes. What used to be a frozen wall becomes a hallway. The US doesn't need to own Greenland to benefit from Greenland. It needs stable access, strong partnerships, and long-term presence. That's the modern playbook. Because most power today is built with agreements, not invasions. In 2026 and beyond, strength isn't just about conquering. It's about building systems that keep working when things get weird. And the Arctic is going to get weird. More ships, more competition, more accidents, more tension, more opportunity, more moments where someone has to respond fast in a place that punishes mistakes. Greenland is the switchboard. If America stays close, it stays early. If America ignores it, it arrives late. And late is expensive. Late means you negotiate from weakness. Late means you pay more to catch up. Late means someone else's priorities become your reality. So when you hear, America wants Greenland, don't imagine a cartoon villain. Imagine a government looking at a changing world and asking, where do we stand so we don't get surprised? That's the Dummies version. Simple, honest, practical. If this helped you understand the story, subscribe and hit the bell. And tell me in the comments what topic you want next. Panama Canal, Taiwan, or the Red Sea. Because geopolitics isn't just breaking news. It's quiet decisions that shape your life before you even notice. Here's the clearest way to end it. Greenland is not the prize. Greenland is the vantage point. It's where you can see first, move first, and decide first. That's why the attention feels intense. Because the Arctic timeline is accelerating, and nobody wants to be the last one to notice. And if you're thinking, will this affect normal people? Yes. Because shipping routes affect prices. Minerals affect technology costs. Security affects global stability. So Greenland isn't just a map story. It's a daily life story, just delayed by a few years. That delay is the trick.